You smell. Not because you are unclean by choice, but because your world offers no way to be otherwise. There is no soap on the shelf, no bar, no bottle, no fragrance designed to wash the body clean. Soap exists in 1348, but it is expensive, imported, harsh, made from animal fat and wood ash, and reserved for laundering linen, not for skin. Your body has not been fully submerged in water in weeks, perhaps months, perhaps longer. You do not notice your own smell anymore. No one does. The air around you is thick with it, layered and constant. Sweat from labor that never stops. Wood smoke from hearths that burn all day. The sourness of clothes worn too long. The sharp bite of animal dung on boots tracked across the cottage floor. The breath of a mouth that has never known mint or paste, only salt and twigs, and the slow rot of teeth surrendering to time. And underneath all of it, the smell of skin itself. Unwashed, unscraped, sealed in the same wool tunic for weeks. The oils build. The salt crystallizes. The body becomes its own ecosystem, and you live inside it the way you live inside your cottage. It is simply where you are. But here is what history forgets to mention. Medieval people were not indifferent to smell. They were obsessed with it, not with eliminating it, because elimination was impossible, but with managing it, with layering over it, masking it, redirecting the nose away from what could not be changed. Smell was not a hygiene problem in this world. It was a social language. The rich smelled different from the poor. The sick smelled different from the healthy. A woman's scent marked her status as clearly as her clothing. And managing that scent, controlling what the world smelled when you entered a room, was a daily act of survival, as deliberate as anything that happened at the hearth or in the field. The medieval nose was not numb. It was navigating. The first weapon is linen, not water, not soap, not perfume. Linen, a thin undergarment worn against the skin beneath the outer wool tunic. The linen absorbs sweat, oil, and grime from the body, pulling filth away from the skin and trapping it in the fabric. When the linen becomes saturated, unbearable, stiff with weeks of accumulated body soil, it is removed, washed, beaten against stones in the nearest stream, and dried. The body is not washed. The linen is. This is the medieval bath. Not water on skin, but fabric changed against it. A clean linen shirt pressed against an unwashed body was, in this world, the closest thing to being clean. The second weapon is herbs. Lavender, rosemary, thyme, sage, crushed and sewn into small cloth pouches called sachets, tucked into clothing, pressed into collars, braided into hair. The fragrance is not decorative, it is strategic. Every sprig of lavender tucked beneath a bodice is a barrier between the body's truth and the world's nose. Dried herbs are scattered across floors, stuffed into mattresses, hung in doorways. The entire cottage is perfumed not for pleasure, but for defense. The air must be managed. The air must be controlled. The third weapon is the pomander, a small ball of ambergris, beeswax, or dried fruit, studded with cloves and spices, carried in the hand or hung from a belt or necklace. The wealthy carry pomanders made with imported spices, worth more than a peasant earns in months. The poor make their own from dried orange peel and whatever cloves they can trade for. The pomander is held to the nose in crowds, in markets, near the sick. It is a portable wall of scent between yourself and the world. In an era that believes disease travels through bad air, through miasma, the pomander is not vanity. It is medicine. It is armor. And the fourth weapon is smoke. Not tobacco, which does not exist here. Wood smoke, herb smoke, incense when the church provides it. Smoke fills every room, every garment, every strand of hair. It seeps into wool and linen and skin until the person and the smoke are indistinguishable. Smoke masks rot, repels insects, and fills the lungs with something that, in this world, passes for clean. It would be easy to mock all of this. The herbs stuffed into collars, the pomanders clutched in sweating hands, the linen changed while the body beneath it remains untouched. It would be easy to call it primitive, to see only the gap between their solutions and ours. But that gap is not intelligence. It is infrastructure. Medieval people understood smell with a sophistication that modern noses have forgotten. They read the air the way we read screens. A change in someone's scent could signal illness before any symptom appeared. The smell of a wound told healers whether it was healing or poisoning the blood. The scent of food determined whether it was safe to eat. The nose was a diagnostic tool, a social instrument, and a survival mechanism, all at once. And the solutions they built were not failures. Lavender is a proven antimicrobial. Smoke genuinely repels insects and slows the spread of airborne contamination. Linen changes, while not a bath, reduced skin infections by pulling bacteria-laden oils away from the body. Cloves, the key ingredient in Pomanders, contain eugenol, a compound that modern dentistry still uses as an antiseptic. These people were not guessing. They were observing, testing, and repeating what worked. They were building a science of scent without the language of science. The medieval world did not smell good. No one pretended it did. But the people living inside it were not passive victims of their own stench. They fought it every day with every tool the earth provided. They braided rosemary into their hair and called it dignity. They changed their linen and called it clean. They held pomanders to their noses and walked through plague streets and called it protection. They were wrong about miasma. They were right about the need to act. And the distance between their world and ours is not measured in fragrance. It is measured in plumbing, in chemistry, in the industrial manufacture of something as simple as a bar of soap. Strip that away, and every room smells medieval again. Every body returns to what it always was underneath the systems we built to forget it.